everybody. I'm Stacey J.
And I'm Chuck Duran.
Here we go with part 2 with the amazing Mary Lynn Wissner.
So, let's talk about that slate. Because what do you like hearing in a slate? Like, what do you're the casting director. What do you
I just like hearing the name, honestly. And don't slate at the end of your read. Big no-no. Just say your name. Don't say the agency, don't say your age, or if there's a character, say there's a number of characters in that spot, you could say your name and as the mom or something like that. But, the less taped, space or time you use up, the better.
Yeah.
If it's a character read, say it's for an animation thing, I like that you slate in your own voice and then go into the character.
Okay.
And most animation casting directors that I've worked with say the same thing as well.
Okay, cool. And what about doing, let's say a commercial piece, doing 2 takes, 3 takes, and ABC? Is that something that you're okay with, or stick to 1 take?
I like the 2-take thing, and that's kind of what I teach, because I like to hear a range, unless it's a super long script.
Yeah.
If it's a really long script, stick to 1 take. 3 takes only if it's, like a tag, do 3 in a row. But other than that, I pretty much could guarantee you they'll never get to the 3rd one.
Okay.
And they might not even get to the 2nd one.
Yeah.
But
and how different should your 2nd one be? And should you slate it, I'm going to use my name for a second.
Yes, do it, Chuck.
Chuck Duran, 2 takes. Boom. And go with my first take, or Chuck Duran, take 1.
it's totally up to you. That doesn't
Okay,
bother
that
me
doesn't
either
bother
way.
you?
No. Sometimes it's, some people are the ilk that, say I have 2 takes so that they know there's another take coming up.
Okay.
Or you immediately, go right into the next one, checked around, take 2. To me, that really doesn't matter.
Should the 2nd take be completely different, like a totally different
Well,
flavor?
here's what I like to, and this is what I teach, and this is what I also have on my app. I like to have, say the direction is, rye and dry, and very sarcastic, which is a very hip, kind of very popular direction right now. So I'll teach the actors how to do that.
Did you say high and dry?
Rye and dry. Did I say
I'm
high?
I'm thinking of an
you said
AC/DC
rye.
song.
Oh,
You said right.
Sorry.
he's the
Chuck's
rocker.
having flashbacks.
He's the rocker. No, I'm thinking rye. Hold the mayo.
Right,
No,
I know.
So I'll say, okay, so rye and dry is very hip, sarcastic. It's kind of flip, smart alecky. So do that. And then on take 2, I always say add an emotion or a trigger word. So you're still in the direction. But if you just add an emotion like, mischievous, so you're still rye and dry, but you just have a little touch of, mischievousness, it kind of flavors it up a little bit. And that shows the producer, director, whoever, this person's got a range.
Exactly.
That's what I teach.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. And it works. It really works.
That's
and
cool.
and again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. We want to see that you make the job easier for them. They want to go to the session. They don't want to pay for a lot of studio time. And then they want to go have a really nice lunch.
And maybe some margaritas.
Well, how can people study with you? And are you only Los Angeles based? Can you do Skype? What is your?
I do.
How can
Yes,
people get in touch with you?
Thank you for asking. I do. Of course, here in Los Angeles, I have a series of workshops called Meet the Pros, and then we also have Meet the Agents, and we have guests come in there, and then I. Certain times throughout the year, I'll go to certain cities. I've been to Portland this year, and Atlanta, New York, Dallas. Pretty much like 3 or 4 cities, big cities a year.
Yeah.
And then I also do private coaching, either in person here in LA or via Skype or over the phone.
That's good.
Well, if you go to voicecasting.com, you have some crazy pants, amazing things coming up this summer.
Yeah.
I was looking at your schedule. Oh my gosh, you've got literally, it's like the who's who of voiceover. It's amazing. It's great, from casting directors, voice directors, agents. It's really great.
I feel very fortunate. Most of these people are people I've known for years and years, and I'm kind of like culling a lot of favors. But we have our agent nights where we have agents come, from all the, different size types of agencies here in LA, and and it's about more just getting an opportunity to meet them one-on-one. We do the sessions one-on-one. All the other actors wait in the lobby, and you get a one-on-one with the agent. So it's a little more private. And then our Meet the Pros, depending on who that pro is. Sometimes we'll do it as a workshop situation, or we'll also do that as a one-on-one. But, I've had casting directors from Disney and Nickelodeon, ADR sound supervisors and promo producers and, whoever I can get to come in that is in a position to hopefully hire a talent. That's what we like to try and...
Well, they sell out. I will
it.
tell you that. So go to voicecasting.com, check your... Fly in if you need to. It is worth it. It's really, and you do it so top notch.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun, and I've been very proud of it because so many actors have had such great success. And I'm in there. I'm in the session, and most of the time, since I know a lot of the actors, I'm the advocate for them. So I can say, hey, this is Stacy. She's really great at blah 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 blah, and then. So it adds a really nice little touch that say other workshops aren't able to do because I'm I know the actor and so on. So and if I don't know them, it just helps me get to know them and subsequently hopefully
put them in
bring them in for something.
Rolodex.
Yeah. Well, man, thank you for doing that. Because the community needs that. You always find people. How can I find somebody who's reputable that I can trust? And it's like right there. You know what I mean? It's like so,
look at that face. Look at that hair.
Look at the hair. Let's talk about the hair real quick, right?
We love good hair.
Man. And you know what? Real quickly, I've been admiring your bracelet. And
I know. And the necklace.
It's so beautiful. What is that?
That's a topaz.
What stone
You know
is that?
what? That's a blue topaz.
Blue topaz.
And I actually bought that for myself last year when I was in New York.
That's gorgeous.
After a workshop. I did this thing, it's sort of funny, but years and years and years ago, I read this article about Angelica Houston, and she said after every movie she does, she buys herself a bangle. So I kind of every year I've owned my business, I buy myself like a...
I was going to say, not after you cast everything.
No.
You would look like a tribal queen. You'd have to get 5 bangles.
No, like every year I try to do that.
Gorgeous. And I'm loving the strand
Thank you.
and the earrings. Oh,
Thank you. Oh, whoops, wrong. I know, it's not kind
gorgeous.
of cool.
Beautiful.
They're funky.
Yeah, we are styling. All right.
We
you know
love
what?
accessories too,
Yeah,
as you
exactly.
can tell.
We want to hear all about this fabulous app of yours that you've
Thank
been
you.
hinting about. Let's hear all about it.
Okay, yeah, the app is fabulous. Like I, for years people have said, oh, you should write a book and the way you teach, and because I pretty much have this Bible I go by, and I call it the foundation of all voiceovers. And my philosophy is, and it all comes from a casting perspective, if you know these 5 popular directions, you pretty much should be successful in any type of voiceover situation, because these 5 directions come up all the time in casting. In the 20 plus years I've been casting, they always come up in one way, shape, or form. They might not be worded exactly the way I word them, but pretty much most of the time they do. And that's the warm and friendly read, the wry, dry, tongue-in-cheek read, the real person read, authoritative, and the cosmetic read. And cosmetic is obviously not just cosmetics, but it's that kind of sexy, raspy, cool bitch and babe thing. So I teach actors how to do those 5 directions. Now, every actor has kind of a different MO of how to get into them, and that's what I work on personally with them. So what I did, because so much of what we have to do now as voice actors is audition from home. And every actor I've been working with in the last few years has said, oh, I don't trust myself directing instincts. I don't know if I'm doing it right. A lot of times they've taken what I've taught in a workshop. I've seen actors and they put it on an index card. One guy even laminated it. It was kind of cute. And they'll put it in the booth with them. So I thought, I want to put that into an app. So you have it, most all of us will have our phone with us or your iPad, and you'll have it right there, and you can take it into the booth. And it tells you how to do the 5 directions. I have all the little key words, how to jump into them. And then I give you, for your take 2 or for another, even if you want to do this on your first take, is how to add an emotion or a trigger to switch it up a little bit, like we were talking about earlier. And and then what we have on the app is sample scripts of each of these types of directions, so actors can say, oh, that's what a warm and friendly script looks like, or that's what a real person script looks like. And then I also have audio samples of each of those scripts.
That's
so
fantastic.
You can hear, you'll hear an actor reading, this is the warm and friendly read, take 1. And then, he goes into the warm and friendly read, and then he says, this is the warm and friendly read, take 2, with the added emotion of playful or whatever it is.
Right.
Awesome.
And you hear a sample of it. So then you can kind of go, oh, I get it.
Yeah, that's
And
really neat.
So
it's
smart.
Yeah, it's worked out. Thank you. It's been really helpful. I've been getting some wonderful response about it.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, so I'm
I
really
can't
proud of
imagine-
it.
You have to have that.
Yes, so it's on iTunes.
It's on iTunes and it's on Google Play. It's called Voiceover Self Direction app. It is $4.99. Now, some people have kind of said, well, that seems like a lot, $5, but it's really not if you were to do a coaching session with me or
yes!
something like that. And I think maybe the people that have said that are people that don't know much about voiceover.
Yeah.
But,
Exactly.
but it really is
$4.99.
a handy little tool that I guarantee you will use all the time. In fact, the nice
Absolutely.
thing, one guy that sort of complained to me about the price actually wrote me an apology letter and said, I got it, and now I finally, it makes sense to me, and now I'm using it, and I apologize because it's invaluable. So, little vindication.
It's an investment in your business.
Yeah.
Exactly.
$5.
If
it's
you're
lunch.
not going to spend $4.99 investing in your business,
Then
then
you
I
should
don't know what to
quit.
tell you.
Yeah.
Then you should quit.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
Well,
that's...
that sounds like really, really neat.
Well, and like you said, the portability factor
Yeah.
and the fact that you can train your ear to recognize
Exactly.
what you're hearing and then be able to
Apply it to
apply it
read.
to what's in front of you.
That's
amazing.
that's the key. It's really kind of like my whole workshop and what I teach in a 5-page little app, and there's even like a frequently asked questions page. But it's pretty simple and it's very simple to use, and it if you don't have success with it, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
That's,
Wow.
Well, congratulations. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
a huge. I mean, that's
Thank you.
a huge
Yeah.
accomplishment
Thank
to
you.
do that. And
Thank you. I'm very proud of it. And it was a
Yeah.
lot of work, but it was it was a labor of love. It was
Yeah.
definitely something
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely,
very proud
man.
of.
Well,
Yeah.
again, thank you for providing a great tool.
Have you opened a
For-
new window yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you
Because
bought it
you
yet?
should be on Google Play or iTunes right now.
I love it.
Wow.
What are some of the highlights and some of the challenges of your work?
Highlights. Gosh, there's so many highlights. Highlights are, watching talent grow, like seeing sort of a newbie come into my workshops and then take classes and then they get called in on things and then they book a series or, things like that. Or they get an agent, I'm a mom, so there's that part of me that's just like, oh, yay, son, you did great, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that has never, gone away. I love that, and I get so proud. And highlights too are just some really wonderful jobs that I've worked on over the years that I'm very proud of. What was the other thing you said? Low lights?
Some challenges.
Oh, challenges.
Lowlights.
There are
Highlights
no
and
lowlights.
lowlights. Okay, challenges.
In your hair, lowlights are nice, but in your
Not in life. Challenges are, the kind of the gosh, that's a good one. For me, it's like I very personal stuff, like I said, I'm very protective of actors, and when I see actors get taken advantage of, or they've maybe taken a workshop with me, and then they said, "Oh yeah, I went someplace and made this demo, for $4,000 or something horrible." I'm like, "Oh, I hate when they get taken advantage of." Things
Yeah.
like that. They're, and I'm so big on, hey, talk to me, ask me, I'll send you to the right places or whatever. That's something that's sort of a challenge. I get very worried about integrity out there.
Yeah.
yeah.
And challenges again, just keeping busy, keep work.
Yeah.
It's
Keeping the lights on.
It's competitive.
Yeah.
It's very competitive nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So, Mary Lynn, you are a decision maker. You are in the trenches with the decision makers. Let's talk about the demo. What is your experience and your opinion about the importance of the demo, and what are some absolutes and some things to avoid?
What actors have to remember is the demo is your calling card. And sometimes that's all I have, especially if you're in another state or city I don't see you. And if you have a crappy demo, that's how I remember you. It is the one time that you really need to, put your pride aside. You're probably not going to make a great demo at home. You go to a professional like Chuck. You go to a professional who knows what the agents are looking for, what casting directors are looking for or wanting to hear, and it'll be the best money you've ever spent, because that is all you have to get yourself in the door. And I'll tell you, we have had some fun Christmas parties with old demos.
Oh boy.
bad demos, that people have recorded in their bathroom or whatever. And, I don't want to make light of it, but why do that to yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So again, if you have to save up or whatever you have to do, but that's what you have to, you really have to do to show your professionalism.
Yeah.
Right.
Have a good demo.
So you call Chuck for a demo, and then you go on iTunes, and you get the $4.99
There you
from
go.
Mary Lynn, and you're set.
That
You're
sounds
good,
like a
you're
freaking
But,
VO plan right there.
And ask the people that say they make demos, say, let me hear some of your demos.
Absolutely.
Oftentimes you'll hear some of the same copy with some people. I mean, you want to go to a professional. It is the most, invaluable investment that you will ever make. So, please heed that advice.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and if you do it right the first time, you're actually saving money.
Yeah.
And that demo could last you for years, so it definitely would save
Well, I
money.
say first, amen to that, and thank you
Yes.
very much for the little shout out to myself there. But
He does awesome demos. He really does.
True story.
stop it! Oh,
True
stop
story.
it!
No,
Keep
really,
going! Keep going!
really,
No, stop it!
really.
But what I want to say is, you just hit on that, is that we live in a digital age. So in the old days, when people were listening to cassettes and reel-to-reels, you can destroy that. Okay. You can't destroy a digital product. It lives on the internet forever. So if you make something that isn't great, that's gonna be out there haunting you
It's
forever.
Googleable.
Don't mess around.
Googleable.
Yes, this is like the most important tool a voice actor
Yes.
could possibly possess.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Don't mess it up.
Right.
Or we're gonna come out there and
The
get ya.
Demo is king, and he's the king.
Yes. And she's the queen.
And she's the queen.
Where's my tiara?
That's in part 3.
Okay.
Do you have any advice, words of encouragement for someone wanting to really have a sustainable, long career in voiceover? What does it take? What do they need to do? What do they not need to do?
I think that to have a long career in this business, you have to treat it like a business. I see so many people that kind of sort of more from the beginning side of things that come in and they think it's going to be a hobby.
Yeah.
Or that might be fun to kind of pick up some income, and they don't realize, how competitive it is and how much you have to treat it like a business. And I always tell actors, just because you can't see your voice, it doesn't mean it's not this tangible thing that you're making money from. If you had a flower shop, you would be sending out flyers that, daisies are the special this week or something.
Yeah.
So you need to, promote your business. Send out a postcard. I love getting postcards from actors because as much as I like to think I remember everybody, sometimes I just forget or they're off my radar. I haven't had that type of voice in for a long time or something. So even if it's not a voiceover related, message they're sending me, I just got back from Europe, or watch me this week on CSI or something like that. I say, I forgot. Oh, that's lovely,
Yeah.
just to stay on my radar. But treat it as a business. Have your website, have your demos done, do it professionally, stay in touch with your agent. Check out workshops. These workshops that I provide, and I know there's some other wonderful ones out there as well, are really great opportunities to not only meet people that are in a position to work with you, but also to network with other actors and kind of find out, what's the scoop, what's going on in our town. Because we really are isolated so much now. It's not like the old days, where we would hang around in the lobby and gossip and everything.
Right. Well, how important do you think social media is to?
I think it's great.
actors?
I am a complete believer in it. I have like a Facebook page that, I have 2 Facebooks, one that's completely personal and just my family and friends, and then I have one that's all voiceover people on there. And I check it out a few times every day, what's going on, or, oh, look at them, he booked this great spot, or something like that. It's just a way to stay connected. And because I teach all over the country, it's been wonderful to just at least stay in touch with actors that way as well.
Right.
So you have to do that nowadays. You have
Absolutely.
tweet and Insta and this and that.
And pin
I know.
and
tumble.
I know.
Tumble and
Rumble.
And link.
And
You have to
Facebook
link.
a link. Yeah. Just,
I
know.
know. What is this world coming
know.
to?
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
If you do not have a well charged up computer, you're not in a.
Oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
You have to really stay in touch. And the other thing I would highly recommend is stay. Sometimes I'm surprised actors are kind of intimidated by their agents, and agents are lovely people.
Yeah.
They're really nice people.
Absolutely.
And they took you on because they believed in you. So,
Yeah.
be team member with them and let them know what you're working on, or that, hey, I just took this workshop.
Mm-hmm.
They like to know, that you are active in your career as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is really, really important, because I always tell people that if you get signed with an agency, and even especially if the agency is, on the big side,
Yeah.
and they have a lot of big clients,
Yeah.
if you're not getting to know your agent and being friendly, don't call them up and say, hey, why haven't I gotten any auditions today?
Yeah, don't just
Not
call
for
and complain.
that,
Yeah.
but like Mary Lynn said, just to say hi and, hey, I'm
Right.
taking this class. They love that, and you stay on their radar.
Exactly.
And maybe when something comes in, it goes, hey, you know what? So-and-so would be great for this, and then you're back.
Right.
So absolutely do
Well,
that.
and it's good for them to see that you're not just waiting for the phone to ring or
Exactly.
your email.
Yes.
You're promoting yourself because it is your business, and nobody is going to care more about your business than you do.
And it's too competitive now. This is a heavily saturated field now. It's not like it used to be, and you have to stay on top of it. Have a website, have business cards made up, so that you can pass them out at a moment's notice. Whatever you have to do to do. That's this voice is your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All great advice.
What do you think you would do if you weren't in the voiceover business?
I really would love to be a writer. That's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me.
Well, I have to brag about you because you have a degree in English, a degree in broadcasting. I mean, it's a smart cookie.
I have I love English, but I always wanted to be a news reporter when I was a kid. So, but I always wanted to go to UCLA, and they didn't have journalism there, so I majored in English. And then I got my English degree there, and then I went to Cal State Northridge and got my broadcast journalism degree there. And then I ended up in casting.
Imagine that. I know. You go to school for one thing and you become something else.
I know, that always happens, right?
Well, you never know. There's a lot of life left to
There
live.
is.
So
I hope so.
Absolutely.
you never
So what do you see in the next chapter of Mary Lynn Wissner?
Wow. You guys are digging deep.
Yes.
Like personally or professionally?
Both. How
You
about both?
decide. You decide.
Well, let's see. Still looking for that plastic surgeon. I don't know. It's like the world is my oyster. There's a lot out there.
Yeah.
I professionally, I love what I do. I have to say, I'm kind of like, I do voiceovers too. I'm with WME, and I love voiceover. I love working. I love there's something about getting in the booth and getting behind a mic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just love that. I have my hands in everything in the world of voiceover, and would love to continue, obviously, doing that forever. And then personally, just staying healthy, and my daughters are growing up. I have 2 girls, and watching them be successful and
that's
happy.
great.
that's what matters to me.
Yeah.
Well, it's so clear that you love what you do. I mean, you're
Thank
so
you.
authentically passionate and happy,
you.
which
I
I love.
feel good about it. Yeah.
Which is rare. I mean, it's when you hear so much about people who really aren't happy doing it. You so clearly love what you do. I mean, what do you think have been the keys to your success and your happiness in your career?
There's kind of nothing else I really want to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes I'll think, oh, that would be nice to do that, but I would miss it too much.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
do love it. It's challenging at times, like I said, and sometimes it's frustrating and scary and all of that. But I just love it. There's nothing better than working so hard on a project and you're sitting down watching TV that night. It's like, I found that voice, or I did that. I'm very proud of the things I've worked on, and I can't think of anything else right now that I really would rather do.
Yeah, and plus
You're great
I might be wrong, but you do come off as a hard-working individual. So she's probably an extreme go-getter and fails at nothing, which might contribute to.
No, I mean, trust me, I've had some failures, and that just what do they say? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, but you keep getting back up.
Yeah,
and that's the
I have
important
to.
thing.
And I think part of that too is just being a parent. I have kids that depend on me.
Yeah.
So I have to keep working.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate that I'm working at a career that I was able to raise my daughters and, and doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and share the love with a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, we love you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You've given such incredible insight, and we know
you.
you've helped a lot of people, and we just wish you so much abundance and happiness.
Thank you very much, and same to you too.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.
Hi, this is Mary Lynn Wissner, and I just got buzzed by Chuck and Stacy, two of the cutest people in the whole voiceover industry ever. So, hope you guys had fun. I had a blast. Thank you.
All right, now who thinks Mary Lynn Wissner is awesome?
Hello.
Who took a bunch of notes and learned a bunch of stuff?
Hello.
Who's going to apply it and become freaking awesome in the voiceover business?
We are.
You are, we are, we all are. And come back next week because we're going to have some more information, a brand new episode of VO Buzz Weekly, and you're going to love it.
Yes, you are. And keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest at VO Buzz Weekly. We love you guys. Take care. And just remember, you always have time for a little buzz.